I was once invited and paid by a company to help them review and finalize their goal for the new year. On paper, it looks very professional. They had target, deadline, numbers, chart, and everything. But when I read through these goals, I realized they weren't really goals. They were vicious. Some numbers were completely overestimated and some others underestimated. And many of them had no real logic or data behind them at all. They simply reflected what the owner wanted the business to be look like, not what the business was realistically prepared to achieve. And this experience reminds me of a bigger problem. In almost every seminar and business book, we're told that success requires very clear, specific, to the point data, numbers, and deadlines, and all the details so we can achieve it. Everything is supposed to be measurable. And yes, that sounds logical and professional. But for many people, this kind of goal setting creates more stress than real progress. The real question is this: if you were truly able to achieve that goal before, why didn't you already do it? If your company already has the capacity and resources to reach that outcome, then would normally get there anyway. So why goal? And if you don't have that resources, then the only way to reach the goal is to take time and money and energy and other resources somewhere else from your company, from your business. So in reality, goal setting often means redirecting resources temporarily just to hit a number, not necessarily improving the business itself. Life is not the same all the time. Our energy changes, our priority changes, the world moves, and the plan we write in December rarely survive throughout the year. So when someone says, I will make this much money this year or that year, or I will reach this target by December, it may feel exciting at first. But as life changes, those goals often turn into pressure, guilt, and a constant feeling of being behind. Instead of motivating people, it quietly drains them. I'm not saying goals are useless or bad. I'm saying the way most people use these goals and goal setting is overrated. We act as if writing down numbers magically create discipline. But numbers don't change behavior. Habits do it. And making a system change it. And daily action change those numbers. So we are now at the end of the year. And for many people, they are making their New Year's resolution for the next year. I want to suggest a different way of thinking. Instead of obsessing over what you want to get, focus on who you want to become and what you want to do and what you can commit consistently to do in the new year. Traditional goal setting asks, what result do you want? A more useful question would be, what behavior are you willing to repeat every day? For example, instead of saying, I want to make $200,000 or 200K this year, say, every day I will reach out to 5 potential clients. Instead of saying, I will double my business, say, I will spend 1 focus hour every day, daily, on marketing and sales. And instead of saying, I want to lose 20 pounds, commit to move your body for 30 minutes, 5 days a week. These are not dreams, they are action. And actions are what actually produce result. Most people don't fail because their goals are too small or too big. They fail because they don't have a reliable system, habits. A goal without a system is simply a wish that comes with a stress attached to it. There is another issue with goal as well. Traditional goal assume that you know yourself perfectly and your life will remain stable for the whole year, for 12 months. But you're constantly changing. Your energy, your interests, your circumstances, none of these things fix. So why lock yourself into a number chosen by past version of you? Habits are different. Habits work in almost every environment. They don't depend on motivation. They don't collapse when life becomes messy. They simply continue in the background. That is where real progress comes from. So instead of asking, what do I want to achieve in the at the end of the year, ask yourself, What behavior will I commit to do no matter what? It might be creating content daily. It might be following up with clients constantly. It might be learning something new every month or every day. When you focus on the action rather than the outcome, stress drop, guilt disappear, and momentum becomes easier to maintain. You stop arguing with yourself every day because the habit is already decided what you do. When you set a goal, then somewhere down the road there is a change, there is a chance of changing something, and you may forget the goal altogether. But when you have a system and a habit, it keeps going no matter what. And here is the interesting part. When you constantly do the right action, the result eventually show up anyway, often bigger and better than the goal you would have written on paper sometime. So I'm not against the idea of goal and goal setting. I'm challenging the belief that success depends on chasing rigid numbers and deadlines. Real success comes from becoming the kind of person who naturally and consistently does the right things. Habit beats motivation, system beats inspiration, and consistency beats everything. So, for the next year, instead of obsessing over what you want to get, build the behavior that will quietly create those results. Instead of chasing the numbers, let the numbers chase you.